All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. What's happening? How are you? Welcome to Live 365 here in Hollis Center, Maine. We in mid Maine, southern Maine, southwestern Maine, I guess. Yeah, Wendy's sitting out with me today on the patio here at Rick and Sherry's, having a nice time. Got me a new Under Armour shirt. Hey, you guys that are watching on a rewind, thank you. If somebody sent this to you, I appreciate you checking it out. We have a good time. The chat is lively with a cast of different characters who pop in on the daily. Try to get a little bit better at business and life and how we're showing up in general for one another. This is the Live 365. I have a good time with it. Don't take myself too seriously. And oftentimes I struggle with some of the same stuff you guys do. So we just talk about it, try to get a little bit better. Good morning, Wendy, who's sitting right across from me. Bubba will be happy to hear that she's doing the links. Okay, yeah. Guys, if you haven't been here before, I'm Bob Turner. I'm Wendy's husband, Bailey's dad. Got to spend the day with Bailey yesterday and some of her friends in from Texas, which was good. We got out on Casco Bay, out on one of the schooners, and that was a good time. A couple hours on Casco Bay will be good for what ails you. I'm also a speaker, a coach. I own Summit Coaching and Consulting. I wrote the book Finding Your Edge. And if you don't have a copy and you'd like one, DM me and I'll send you one. If you're looking for a coach struggling in business, DM me. We'll hook up and have a phone call, see if maybe I can help you. So part of the reason I do this every day is to just have somebody in our corner that challenges us to seek our full potential, okay, and actually realize what we're capable of. Good morning, Pat Johnston. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you guys all for the birthday wishes yesterday too. I started trying to respond to everyone, and every year I do that. I'm replying personally to everybody. And it's probably going to take me a couple of days this year. So super grateful, super humbled to have so many people reach out. Schooner Tuna. Yeah. What was the name of the schooner we were on, Wendy? There was the schooner Timberwind. Uh, Valor or something, yeah, something like that. But it was probably 60 or so feet long. It was cool. But yeah, guys, we're here every morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. Sometimes people like Roy Dahl show up and hang out. Good to see you, Roy. But yeah, no matter what, every day. So yeah, we've been talking about, I do 10-day series, and this last 10-day series has been about becoming relentless. And I just kind of put a different talk together every day on ways to become relentless. Day one was about, stop starting over. Day two, feelings don't get a vote. Okay. We talked about, standard over feelings. Okay. Day three, we talked about making your word mean something, not your word to everyone else, your word to you. Okay. Good morning, Matt Moore. Yeah. Good to see you. Got a beautiful day here in Maine today. The Jeep might get its first wash since April, but we're done on the dirt roads, I think. Yesterday, we talked about how boring wins and doing them, mastering the mundane. Okay. And today, we're going to go right into the place where all four of these things get tested, because eventually the exciting leaves. Okay. And then what? All right. So we want to talk about staying when things get, they're not exciting anymore. Okay. Who's a great starter? Show of hands, right? Yeah. I love to start something. That's where it's exciting, right? Think about it. You decide to start a new business. Awesome. We got to get a name and a logo and some cards and hey, let's get some hats and shirts printed up. Maybe you decide you get in shape, get a new pair of kicks. You're out there doing your thing. You got some new workout clothes on. You downloaded the app. You're tracking your meals. Let's go, right? Well, maybe you decided you're finally writing that book and you start into it. Get the title, the cover ideas, right? You tell everybody what's going on. This is finally happening. And it starting feels incredible, right? Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Luke McGee. Good to see you. Starting feels incredible. And why is that? Because at the beginning, everything's possible, right? Nobody's, taking a big dump on your dream yet. You haven't struggled. You haven't failed. You haven't gotten bored yet, right? And you haven't figured out how freaking long it might actually take. Okay. And then the middle shows up. Okay. So welcome to the middle. And speaking of middle, today's day 597. Okay. I might be in the middle right now and I continue to show up. Okay. But in the middle, nobody throws you a party for day 47 or whatever it is you're doing. Nobody gets excited about workout number 73. Nobody cares that you did it. Okay. Nobody gives you a big pat on the back for doing all your prospecting calls for the 6th straight week. Good morning, Dustin. How are you, buddy? Wendy's putting the links in. Check out Tyler Kirks, it says. Yeah, nobody sends you a trophy because you had another Monday morning meeting. All right, you did the thing. The middle isn't sexy, guys. You just got to do it, right? The middle is, hey, you still doing that? You still doing your? I saw a guy last night still doing your podcast thing there in the morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every day. Here's the difficult thing about the middle. Okay, the initial excitement's gone, right? The bloom's off the rose, so to speak, but the payoff hasn't arrived yet. And you don't know if there's going to be one, right? It's a dangerous place to be because you're doing the work without receiving much emotional reward. And that's exactly where a lot of people quit. Good morning, Paul Tarasuk. That's exactly where a lot of people quit. Okay. The excitement's gone. They're not doing the thing. Okay. Are we on live on Instagram? I don't know if I clicked that. Yeah. Close with Patrick joined us. Good to see you. Yeah. When you start something, people ask about it, right? They're like, hey, how's that thing going? How's your new business going? Hey, how's the diet? You're looking good. How's that podcast going? Wow, yeah. How's the training? How's that new project going? And a few months later, nobody asks. Nobody asks. Not because they're bad people, because they have their own lives and your dream isn't their responsibility. And eventually, you have to care when nobody else does. Okay? That's a massive transition because you're not getting that, external excitement, if you will. You got to go to internal commitment. And if your goal requires people constantly cheering for you to continue, you're probably not going to go very far. Okay? You're probably not going to go very far. You're probably going to top out at where it gets less exciting. And the results get quiet too, right? Here's another problem with that is that, well, sometimes you're doing everything right. Nothing seems to be happening. You're making the calls, not getting any sales. You're creating the content. Nobody engages. You're eating better and not really losing weight. You look down at the scale and it doesn't move. Maybe you're leading differently, leading better, and your team still screws stuff up. Okay? Maybe you're saving money and the account still doesn't look all that impressive. Doing the work. Your brain starts asking, is it worth it? Is this even working? That's a dangerous question, guys, because sometimes the answer is yes. Okay? You just can't see it yet. The root grows before the tree does. Right? Insert Chinese bamboo example story. I'll spare you that one. Guys, don't require daily proof either. Like sometimes it's just like you did the thing today and that's it. Okay? If you require daily proof that your work is paying off, you probably will end up quitting almost everything that's meaningful. Okay? Because meaningful things often have delayed returns. Business and health and relationships and leadership, content for sure, reputation, trust. Okay, you build trust, right? Financial freedom, right? Delayed returns. Okay, none of those things probably ever provide immediate feedback. Okay, there's a delay between the work and the reward. Simple as that. Relentless people learn how to operate inside that delay. They know it's there. They're just creating a bridge. Okay, they don't need today's result to validate today's work. Okay, there may not be one today. They ask like, was this the right rep? Did I have the right conversation? If yes, do another. Okay, just keep doing it. We talked about that. we talked about boring, how boring wins, right? It's where most people change the plan. Okay. It's where it gets tested because the excitement's gone, the results are slow. Um, maybe I need new strategy. No, shoot, I paid a couple $1,000s a month for my SEO and I got 2 leads. Okay. Maybe we're in the middle. Okay. You're just standing in the middle. Maybe nothing's wrong. Maybe it's working. Maybe you're planting the seeds. Maybe you're just experiencing the completely normal part of the process. That could be the case. Okay. It's not fun anymore, right? Don't immediately interpret boredom as failure or just the mundane as failure. Okay. Don't immediately interpret difficulty as misalignment. Well, this just isn't lining up. Buffalo Bills hat, or is that a new Foster Grant line? It's my new personal excellent hat, Ryan. Get with the program, brother. Yeah, don't immediately interpret slow progress as no progress, okay? You just got to keep doing the thing. You just need to stay, okay? Don't quit everything that gets hard. I like this one. Stop whiplashing your team, right? Business owners get excited, right? Guys, I got an idea, okay? The team thinks, oh crap, here he comes again, right? Always changing something, okay? New process, new software, new strategy. And 3 weeks later, the owner's bored and says, I got a new idea, right? We're going to do something else. And everybody changes direction again, okay? Your team cannot build momentum if you keep changing the destination, all right? Your job as a leader isn't to constantly create excitement. You're not a cheerleader. Sometimes your job is just to say, great idea, but we're still doing the thing. How does that make the boat go faster? How does that move the needle? How does that help us in our continued direction? Same standards, same priorities, same direction. Keep going. That's leadership too, okay? And don't confuse quitting with pivoting either, right? Got to be careful here, all right? I'm not telling you to stay in something forever and keep banging your head against the wall just simply because you started. You started that terrible business idea, finish it. Nah, that's ridiculous, okay? Sometimes you should quit. Sometimes you should move on to something different, okay? When the plan is wrong or when circumstances change or when the data says clearly this isn't working and it's not going to work. Good morning, Andrea. Good to see you. Good leaders adjust, guys, but don't call something a pivot when it's really I'm tired. I'm just kind of tired of doing this. I need some more excitement. Okay. Ask yourself, has the evidence changed or has my enthusiasm changed? That's a really good question. Okay. They require 2 different responses. All right. If the evidence has changed, adjust. Okay. If your enthusiasm changed, keep going. Okay. Think about Live 365. I had to do the math again today. Today's day 597. Okay. In the beginning, it was super exciting. Like, oh wow, had 20 people on today. 10 people showed up, right? Day 1, super exciting. Day 10, yeah, oh yep, still doing it. Day 30, day 365, we had some milestones, right? People saying that, wow, you're really doing this every single day. Okay. Yep, I am. Then eventually it's just Tuesday. There's no milestone, right? There's no giant celebration, no big pat on the back, and it's just 8 a.m. I got to do my live. That's what I say to Wendy. Hey, what are we doing today? Well, I got to do my live at 8. Got to do my live at 8, and she knows that. We build our day around that. Flip the camera on, talk, finish, come back tomorrow. Here's what's interesting: the longer I stay, the less I need to get excited about it. Okay, because eventually I'm not trying to stay motivated to do this anymore. I'm just building something stronger. Identity. Okay. I'm not trying to be somebody who shows up, I'm trying to be somebody who shows up every single day. Okay. I am somebody who shows up. Like I always say, you didn't wonder if I was going to be on today at 8. You knew I was going to be on. All right. Let's talk about your relationship with the middle. Okay. Think about your own life. Okay. How many things have you abandoned in the middle? Not because they weren't working, not because they weren't important, but because they stopped being exciting. Maybe you've repeatedly confused the disappearance of excitement with a signal to stop, right? What if it isn't? What if the moment excitement disappears is actually the moment the real work begins? That you had to get to that point. Good morning, Josh Baker. Good to see you, buddy. At the beginning, motivation carried you, and now character has to carry you. Okay? How bad do you want it? That's where the relentless gets built. We don't just walk away because it gets a little bit boring or because the shine came off it, okay? Or because we're not getting that high anymore, okay? Don't chase that high, right? There's another trap, right? Some people aren't addicted to achievement, okay? They're addicted to starting. They're great starters. They love the feeling of declaring, hey, I'm doing this, a new project, new goal, new business, new idea. It sheds all that, well, we weren't really successful with the other thing stuff, right? New idea, new challenge, constantly chasing the emotional high of beginning. But eventually you've got 17 things started, right? You're climbing a different mountain. Nothing's built, and nothing's finished, okay? This life's boring, says Dustin. Kidding. Hardest part of entrepreneurship. Yeah, great comment. You all have opportunities, good ideas, but realizing where you are will make you gotta have the honest conversation. For sure, man. Yeah, we gotta focus. Sometimes, ride one train, so to speak, right? Um, you gotta be careful with all that stuff. Sometimes, like starting something isn't the same as accomplishing something. Okay. Ideas are cheap. Announcements are cheap. Hey, we're doing this. Excitement's cheap. Staying is expensive. Staying costs patience, discipline, repetition, maybe some ego, right? Maybe some ego. Good morning, Corey and Nisetta. That's why fewer people do it. Maybe the ego gets in the way. Well, this is starting to get to the point where people are going to be wondering if I'm successful or not, so I better come up with a new idea, right? There's a quiet season too, guys. All right. Somebody sitting there watching this or watching it on the rewind might be in a quiet season right now. You're kind of doing the work. Nobody's watching. Nothing spectacular is happening. You're not crushing it. You're not failing. You're just working. Good. Don't rush through that. Okay. Maybe that's where, you're becoming the person capable of handling what's next. Maybe that's that incubation period. Okay. Maybe the lack of applause is forcing you to develop that internal validation. I'm okay. I'm where I should be. It has to work for me, not everybody else. I don't care what everybody else thinks. Maybe that slow progress is teaching you a little bit of patience. Okay. Maybe that repetition is helping to create mastery. Okay. Josh Baker says, map out the process and go all in. Yeah. Maybe this isn't the season where everybody sees what you're building. Maybe this is just the season where you build it. Tell them about it later. Okay. And just stay. Just continue what you're doing. Okay. You guys know I challenge you every day. Here's a great challenge. Don't change anything. Right? A little bit different, right? I don't want you to add something. Just identify one thing you're tempted to change. Okay. Or tempted to abandon simply because the excitement's gone. Ask yourself this: is it still important? Is the process still fundamentally sound? Has the evidence changed or have my feelings changed? Josh is on here. Well, I kind of don't like painting anymore. I really don't like having a painting business. But maybe it's the thing that's making you the most money. Maybe it's right before the time when things are going to explode, okay? And you're 3 feet from gold. You don't know, right? But if has the evidence changed or have your feelings changed? So explore that, okay? So today's homework brought to you by Mark Bunker and Bunker Building and Remodeling. Don't change anything, okay? Show up, do the rep, stay. Sometimes that's the work. Luke, I was going to start time blocking today, but we'll have to do a block on procrastination tomorrow, Luke. Oh, cool. Guys, if you like this stuff, if it helps you, if you're showing up every day and you want to go a little bit deeper, join us on the inside, okay? On the inside of our Edge Live community, okay? This stuff that I do every day, these talks, these topics are part of the reason that I created Edge Live. Okay. Like I said, the beginning is easy, right? You tell everybody what you're going to do. You're excited. 6 weeks later, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you need some accountability, right? That's what we do inside the Edge Live. Okay. Sometimes you need somebody who remembers what you said you were going to do after the excitement wears off. Okay. All right. We have 3 live calls every month. One's a business development call, one's a personal development call. Our other one, my favorite, is the office hours, where we put you on a figurative virtual stool, if you will, and ask you questions about your issue, your challenge, and see if we can send you down the road with some ways to fix it. Okay. Guys, what are you excited about? All right. What did you say you were going to do? And are you still doing it? If not, why? Okay. That's where the growth happens. And if you need people around you that want to help, that will help you stay in the middle, reach out. We'd love to have you inside the Edge Live. Okay. It's a great group. We're having a lot of fun with it. We have 3 calls a month, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. And our next one is this Tuesday, and it is our office hours call. So it'll be good. It'll be fun. Don't forget, we're going to November. We're going to Tennessee, November 9th through the 12th. Not going to November. We'll be in the Gatlinburg area of Tennessee. Wendy and I will be there. We're going to do some hiking. There'll be some workshop stuff, some talks and presentations and that kind of stuff. And show up, and we'll help you figure out why you started and help you not quit, okay? Get away from the noise. Get around good people. Evaluate what's working and look at what isn't, okay? Reconnect with your priorities and recover and think and come back to your business ready to attack, okay? Sometimes the answer isn't another strategy, guys. Sometimes just need some perspective, okay? That's what I like about the concept, retreat to attack, okay? If you're feeling like you need to get in a room where everybody wants you to win, maybe you feel like people don't understand you with this business idea thing, okay? Get around the right people. It'll change your life, okay? And remember, guys, the beginning gets the attention. The finish gets celebrated, but your life is mostly lived, okay? In the middle, okay? That's where the businesses get built. That's where the bodies change, the marriages deepen, where leaders develop, and where reputations form, okay? That's where trust gets earned, okay? That's where Live 365 got built, okay? I didn't say 365 days. Yeah, okay, we're done. We kept going. Just one ordinary day after another. And sometimes nobody's watching. That's okay. I do it anyway. Sometimes, like, nobody's clapping. I've done it anyway, okay? Sometimes I'm not that excited about getting on. Do it anyway, okay? Because eventually motivation has to hand the baton to something stronger, and that's commitment, okay? We've had a lot of great days here in the last 4 or 5 days. Tomorrow, it's day 6. We're going to talk about aggressive patience, one of my favorite topics. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it doesn't mean they didn't try. That's what I always say, right? Attack what you control today while having the patience to allow the result to develop, okay? And that's a little bit of what we talked about today. Guys, I love you. Please share this out. There's probably somebody in the middle right now that you're wondering, whether it's worth continuing. Send this to them, okay? Reach out to somebody who needs to hear from you today. Tell somebody you love them. Encourage them. Say, hey, I noticed what you're doing. I see you doing the work, okay? Guys, take care of yourself. Take care of your business. I'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you. It's been Live 365. Share it with somebody that needs to hear it. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.